The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com and at amazon.com.
Beverly, how'd you know?
Because I hired a detective. Yeah, I thought you were having an affair. It's ridiculous, I know, okay? Look, you could have told me about it, though, couldn't you? You just completely left me out. Why didn't you tell me, John? You've got to answer that.
I was ashamed.
Ashamed of what? Of dancing?
Well, no.
And then of what?
I'm wanting to be happier. When we have so much.
And is that going on in your life? That's from the movie Shall We Dance, that you do have a lot in your life, and yet you want something that you're afraid to share with a partner. You want to value yourself more. And I know with myself, one small thing that I had wanted, but I felt embarrassed to do, was to get a massage. And with me today to discuss lovely massages is a lovely woman, Gretchen Blaker Mason, who is a member of the Center for Sexual Health team at Psychological Centers, and she's a licensed mental health counselor specializing in sexual and relational health, and she has been a licensed massage therapist for 15 years, gone to spas around the world, and Gretchen also teaches human sexuality at the University of Rhode Island. Welcome, Gretchen.
Thank you, Alan.
So what got you interested in becoming a massage therapist?
Well, initially I was really interested in the mind-body connection and healing from past trauma and abuse. And I started to think about this as I had an internship before my freshman year of undergraduate school, and the internship was at a battered women's shelter, and the patterns that persisted in these women's lives, and to me it seemed like there was an element of healing and change that was missing, and that was the connection and integration of the body and the healing process. So when I studied psychology my first year of college, it seemed like again that the body was missing. So I took a leave of absence and I went to Seattle Massage School for a year, and then continued my degree, my undergrad and graduate.
Fascinating. What a specialty. So really you're helping those women who've been abused or have been through trauma reclaim their bodies, own their bodies, not feel like they're dirty or use old baggage, but to own themselves. And that's not just true for people who have been abused, but for all of us. So many of us think that the body is dirty or sex is dirty or that it's something that's shameful. We've been taught that in religion a lot. What would you say are the wonderful psychological benefits or any benefits of getting a regular massage, getting massages?
Well, taking time for self-care, and a massage can be a great time to really tune into the mind and body without other distractions. I mean, it's really, so if you're on a table for 60 minutes, 75 minutes, an hour and a half, that there's really an opportunity to really assess what's happening, and then people are very busy, and so much time can go by without really being aware of how stress is manifesting or creating tightness or decreasing blood flow or just that self-awareness and understanding, and then opportunity to do something good for oneself.
Right, and that's what people deprive themselves of so often, like in Shall We Dance, giving yourself that ability to dance or to nurture yourself and to go out and have a very relaxing massage where you let your mind relax, you listen to nice music, you smell nice smells, you let your mind think about some positive things rather than all the stressful things that are tensioning every muscle in your body and restricting blood flow. What are some of the psychological barriers that would keep anybody from seeking out a massage? What goes through their minds?
Hey, I got to interrupt this because we've got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, that's it. A very quick ad, and then Ellen will be back.
Romance. Ugh, I wish guys knew more about what we want from a relationship. Boy, I wish I knew more about what I want. Where's that ad I saw? Here it is. The Selfish Path to Romance. A serious romance guidebook. Download Chapter 1 for free at selfishromance.com and buy it at amazon.com. The Selfish Path to Romance. That is interesting.
What are some of the psychological barriers that would keep anybody from seeking out a massage? What goes through their minds?
Well, maybe there are some beliefs that they're not worthy, or that they shouldn't, spend that kind of time or money on themselves. They might be, busy taking care of other people and feel guilty about taking care of themselves, or not wanting to, seem self-indulgent. Or maybe they feel like they don't have time. People try and fit so much into their days that there just doesn't seem to be enough time. And even if there's that kind of guilt, or I've had clients who hold on to gift certificates that they've been given until they're almost expire, because they want to save it until they really need it, or they feel like they might not, that they feel okay, or that they're not in pain, so that therefore they shouldn't go get treatment. Or, but really, there's a lot of stress and tightness that can happen in the body before your body starts telling you that through pain.
Right. So some of the psychological barriers are that you don't feel worthy of giving yourself a gift. You're only good if you make chicken soup for other people, but you can't make chicken soup for yourself. So you could massage other people, but your husband or a friend, if they've got a sore neck, but receiving one seems, I'm not selfish. And people run away from themselves. I mean, a rational person would value themselves. That's why I even titled my book, The Selfish Path to Romance, because the focus is on valuing yourself, not at the expense of others, but certainly not to go through life sacrificing yourself. So those are some of the barriers. What would keep a person, I mean, you've been doing this for 15 years or more. They come, they're the first time there, they're getting a massage, they're reluctant. What would be some of the psychological barriers keeping them from actually enjoying a massage once they're on the table with you?
Once they're on the table, so learning to let go. Maybe somebody hasn't, they're thinking about, something that happened earlier, or something they have to do later. So still being in that distracted state of being can get in the way. Maybe, and again, I should mention that safety is absolutely number one priority for being able to relax and let go. So, if something is uncomfortable and they're not, and the therapist isn't checking in with them, or they're not communicating that to the therapist, that's something that can get in the way. Maybe they've had an uncomfortable experience before, that the massage was too deep, and then they were sore after. So they're kind of tensing up their bodies, because they don't want the therapist to go too deep. But a good attuned therapist will really feel any kind of tissue resistance, or the body protecting itself, and will check in with
the person. And they need to have the courage to speak up. I know my husband was going for massages and didn't like the music. It was like a car crash, he said, or some new age thing that just didn't, float his boat. And so he brought in different music.
I think that's great.
And he has such a great relationship with his massage therapist. And they played it, and after an hour and a half, he said something like, this is a bit boring. And she said, so you think? So it was, but the idea of being playful and really giving yourself a voice in the massage. This hurts. Can you go a little deeper here? I'd prefer you to go here. And it's the same type of communication you would need with a couple too. So you're making me want to go out and have a massage now, or get one from my husband. Listen, thank you so much for joining us. How can people get in touch with you, Gretchen, if they want to, if they happen to be lucky and they're in Rhode Island and would like to get a massage by you, or if they want to connect with you? Do you have a website?
Sure, yes, I do. My website is healthsasamtherapy.com. Healthsasam is spelled HALSOSAM, and therapy.com. Healthsasam is Swedish for healthy living.
Wonderful. I love that. Thank you so much for giving us a touch of your healthy living. And this is Gretchen Mason. Thank you so much for joining us today, Gretchen.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad.
Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by clinical psychologists Dr. Kenner and Locke.
Darcy and Mark met at work, dated a few months, and moved in together. But differences in interest and taste became a sore spot in their relationship. Darcy loved dancing. Mark feared making a fool of himself on the dance floor, and he recoiled when Darcy suggested taking dance lessons together. Mark was a sports guy. As spring approached and Mark started golfing, Darcy felt the distance grow between them. Mark pressured Darcy to join him. She staunchly refused. Both felt abandoned by each other. Due to the growing resentment, even small differences in their tastes flared into major arguments. Although they both had lovable qualities, their differences in interests and tastes brought out the worst in them as a couple.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com, and you can buy the book at amazon.com.